This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
It is the After Party live on a Trivia Thursday. Woohoo! Some interesting questions coming your way. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for being part of this really cool little show, the After Party Live. I mentioned at the end of the Mark Thompson show that we are 20 subscribers away from the goal of 2,500. So hopefully we'll be able to collect a few more subscribers and hit the goal and keep our little community the way we like it. Thank you to the folks that have contributed to keep this show rolling. That includes Sheila M., also Wes throwing in another $5 today, Deidre L with her recurring monthly payment, and also Chris H with his recurring monthly payment, and Kathy O with her recurring monthly payment. So thank you guys so much for making this show possible, the After Party Live, by contributing financially. Also to everyone who sends messages and story ideas. It's really, really appreciated. Let's move to the stories now and take a look at what I have found for you. And that includes this first story about these paddle boarders who found this shark. These girls are out in Australia doing what they do, enjoying the ocean. And if you see in the bottom right corner, there is the tip of a shark that pops up. And it happened right when one paddleboarder was taking a picture of the other. And it's at this moment when these teenage paddleboarders, and again, this is the waters off of Cape Cod on the 4th of July. I thought they were in Australia, but apparently they're at Cape Cod. So there they are paddleboarding along Stony Beach when they took a picture and they see this fin peeking out at the bottom of the frame. This one girl you see in the left was saying, "Take a picture of me, take a picture of me." And right near her board, the 8-inch fin pops out of the water. She said it was fleshy and gray. And she said, this is a quote, "I'm like, oh my goodness." And my heart kind of sank. And here is the picture that was taken right when she sees the fin. And here is a close-up of the fin. Yep, that's a shark. That's a big shark. And here's her face afterward. Ooh. They paddled so fast to get back to shore that one of the girls broke her oar. That's how fast they were trying to get back to shore. She said that later, when they were looking at the phone and seeing this girl's face change from happy to, oh my God, there's a shark, they said eventually the shark passed within a foot of one of these girls who felt it in the currents. She said, immediately we kicked into, we've got to get out of here. Go, go, go. Paddling so hard that one of these young women broke her oar on the way back to shore. She said, not so many thoughts after that. Once they're out of the water, they reported their sighting on an app, a shark sighting app, used by beachgoers to keep informed on the latest shark sightings. And there's a man that works for the New England Aquarium. His name is John Chisholm. And he said, this is a great white. He looked at the fin and said, that's a great white shark. Because of its pointed dorsal fin, that's how he knew. And he said he puts the size of it about the size of the teens' paddle boards. I was thinking it was bigger based on that fin, but the experts say it's about as long as the paddle board. He said the girls say that they were actually really proud of themselves for staying calm enough in a frightening situation that they were able to get back to shore, because they said it would have been really easy for one of them to freak out and fall off their board or something. They're planning to take a break from the ocean for a few days, but they say they'll be back eventually. It's okay. They're coming back. Yeah, that would be very disconcerting. Here is a story that ends with some really good news. This young man was missing. He's a surfer, and this is why I thought Australia, because this happened in Australia. This young man went surfing, and he um, left home on Wednesday afternoon and then failed to return home. So concerned family members contacted police, according to folks in New South Wales, and police immediately launched a search, a land and water search around Woolly Beach. And what's so interesting about this is they found him safely on an uninhabited island about 7 miles away. He spent the night on this uninhabited island. The crews say they were jumping for joy when they found this young man. It was an incredible outcome. His dad had been making a plea on social media for help. He said, "I'm asking anyone with a seaworthy vessel to please meet me at the Woolly Beach boat ramp. Take to the sea to help me with the search." The young man, his name is Darcy. He spent the night on North Solitary Island. It's about 7 miles off the coast. The rescue called a 1 in a million miracle. They were fearing the worst for this young man, and he was found. And it's not the first time that someone has been swept out to sea and ended up on this island. So, yeah, he's receiving some medical treatment now, but looks like he's going to be okay. Phew, that was a scary one, right? How about this picture? If it looks like cotton candy to you, yep, that's because it is. Kind of. It's called a cotton candy nebula. And this is the first close-up view of this cotton candy nebula captured by the world's largest cosmic telescope. This is our first close-up view of it. An interstellar cloud of gas and dust that can produce new stars. This we're seeing in stunning detail in our first close-up view. The images come from the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, which is a new station built in the Andes Mountains of Chile. It's funded by the United States. And it's at that facility that we have this powerful telescope with the best digital camera on the planet. It is allowing the telescope to look really far into space with galaxies tens of millions of light years away from Earth. Also in this cotton candy nebula, they call it that because of its bright pink pattern, this swirling mass is called the Trifid Nebula. It's about 5,000 light years from Earth. But nearby is the Lagoon Nebula, which is another colorful cloud. It's about 4,000 light years away, and it appears alongside the Trifid Nebula in the latest images. Both are in the constellation Sagittarius. They've zoomed in on the nebulae, and you can see them at detail and formations that we've never seen before. The picture that you're looking at was created from more than 678 different exposures taken over a 7-hour period by this massive telescope. And this isn't even why they have the telescope. Here's another shot of this, by the way. Look at that. You can see the other cloud formation here, or the other nebulae formation. So interesting. And no, the reason that they put this telescope up, the mission at hand, is to perform nightly scans of the sky for the next decade so they can learn more about the early universe and some of the properties that we still don't understand very well. Specifically, dark energy is what we're hoping to learn more about. But already, we're learning more about cosmic mysteries in the universe. So I love that. I have, and I don't know if I've shown this before, but Calvin Wong, shadow producer, sent me this video that I just find to be so magical. And so I think I might have shared it before, but I really wanna share it again because I just love it so much, and it's not very long, and it is a video of the most magical phenomenon, whales with coming up to the surface to breathe, and they blow out of their, blowhole, and they create this mist that just hits in the right way, and we have a rainbow. So, I just wanna show this to you because I love it so much. Here it is, and I'm gonna fast go back to the beginning. Look at that. Do you see that? So, so pretty. I don't think I can make it any bigger. Thanks, Calvin, for sending this in. So these whales come to the surface, and it just so happens that the lighting is right, and the mist creates a rainbow. Is that not peaceful and lovely? If that's not a great reason to be alive, oh, that's not the same thing. No, we don't want that. We're back to the whales. If that's not a great reason to be alive and experience the wonder of the planet, then I don't know what is. Just so incredible. Just for a moment, a little momentary rainbow. That's all it takes. That's a good one. Anyway, thanks to Calvin for that. That's really special, and I appreciate the video. Love videos of whales. Not the skeletons so much, but the whales, yes. We'll take the whales. All right. Um, did you see, and I know the video is a little disturbing, but it's one of these stories where humans are doing lovely things. This is a deer rescue, and Florida lifeguards found this deer struggling in the Atlantic Ocean and went and pulled this deer out. They had to paddle out on a surfboard, and that must have been really hard and heavy to grab this struggling deer in the surf. But that's what they did. The area was under heavy rain, and the surf was high, and they still managed to pull this deer onto a rescue board. They brought the animal to shore. Immediately, they were assisted. The lifeguard says, "I was just holding on to this deer as hard as I could, and it was fighting, and it was heavy, and I was tired. Everybody's tired, but in my mind, I was telling myself, 'We're getting this deer back to shore one way or another.'" They don't know how long the deer had been in the water. They don't know how far it had traveled, but it was able to walk, and it was released back into the wild just a short distance from the beach. The firefighters in the area say that's the first time in 15 years that we've heard of a deer being rescued from the ocean, but they brought it back, and just like a human, it kind of laid on the beach for a few minutes to get its bearings back, just kind of collapsed in exhaustion before eventually it was able to stand again and walked away. So thanks to the lifeguards in Florida for doing something lovely. Um, this is a new discovery, scientific discovery that I think I don't know. I'm very hopeful that there's some type of there. The scientists say there's a harmless virus that they found. We've known about the virus for a while. Didn't think it was worth anything or worth even noting. Now they think that it might trigger Parkinson's disease. It's called the human pegivirus or pegivirus, PEGI virus, PEGI, human pegivirus. So when researchers were looking at brain tissue from people who had autopsy, they had died from Parkinson's, they found that this germ from the human pegivirus was in half of the autopsied brains, but it was not in any of the brains from healthy people or people without Parkinson's. They reported their findings in the journal JCI Insight. So, what we know about the pegivirus, the human pegivirus, is that it's this very common, very symptomless infection. And we didn't know previously that it infected the brain, according to researchers at Northwestern Medicine in Chicago. They said they were surprised to find it in the brains of Parkinson's patients at such a high frequency, it wasn't even in the controls. The virus, they say, appeared to prompt different responses from people's immune systems depending on their genetics, which they think suggests that this could be an environmental factor that interacts with the body in ways that we did not realize before. For this virus that was thought to be harmless, the findings actually suggest that it may have important effects in the context of Parkinson's disease, and it might influence how Parkinson's develops, especially in people with certain genetic backgrounds. So, Parkinson's happens when brain cells that produce an important hormone called dopamine start to die off or become impaired. And then, as the dopamine levels decrease, people develop problems with movement, the shaking, some stiffness, problems maintaining balance and coordination. Ron Owens has Parkinson's disease. So, someone in my life affected with it, and more than 1 million people in the United States are living with it. Of course, Michael J. Fox comes to mind, Alan Alda, Neil Diamond, listed as another person with Parkinson's, Brett Favre. Most cases of Parkinson's they don't think are linked to a person's genetics. And that raised the question of what does trigger it. For this new study, the researchers autopsied the brains of 10 Parkinson's patients and the brains of 14 people that did not suffer from Parkinson's. They found the human pegivirus in 5 out of 10 brains from people with Parkinson's, but none of the 14 non-Parkinson's brains. The virus was also present in the spinal fluid of the Parkinson's patients, but not in the control group. Further, more brain damage was found in the patients with the human pegivirus. So they went and took blood samples from more than 1,000 participants in the Parkinson's Progression Markers Initiative, which is a biosample library available for Parkinson's research. They say that this pegivirus is a blood-borne virus in the same family as Hep C. When they looked at the blood samples from the larger group, only about 1% of Parkinson's patients had it in their blood samples. But the people who had the virus showed different signals from their immune system, especially those with a Parkinson's-related gene mutation, a certain one. So now the researchers would like to look at how genes like that affect the body's response to viral infections. They're trying to figure out if it's a special effect of the human pegivirus or if it's a broader response to viruses. And they're also going to look more at hepatitis as well. They say one of the big questions they would need to ask is how this virus gets into the brains of people with or without Parkinson's, how the virus and the genes interact. And maybe, just maybe, it could show them how Parkinson's begins. And if they know that, then better therapies could be developed. So, could be important research. There's this story about Neanderthals making a Swiss Army knife from cave bone. Did they? Does this look like a Swiss Army knife to you? Kind of. Maybe? It's a prehistoric multi-tool. It's the oldest example of a, quote, Swiss Army knife or a multi-use tool of its kind. And it was made from cave lion bone by Neanderthals, found at this prehistoric cave site in Belgium. They call it the oldest multifunctional tool of its kind, an Ice Age Swiss Army knife, not crafted by the Homo sapiens there. Nope. the Neanderthals. The study is published in the journal Scientific Reports. Of course, people think of Neanderthals, what we know about them, we think they're like our dumber cousins, right? Because they were dumber than their Cro-Magnon competitors. But it turns out their cognitive abilities might not have been so bad after all. There was a team that doing excavations at the Skaldina Cave in Belgium, where there's just so much archaeological findings, so many findings there. They spotted this animal bone with clear indications of intentional shaping. They found that it was the tibia bone from a cave lion, which is a species of extinct panther that roamed present-day Europe until about 13,000 years ago. So they did some tests and they found that this bone is about 130,000 years old, which would date back to the end of the Salian glaciation period. Archaeologists at the University of Ghent in Belgium say they were very fascinated by these intentional markings that were carved into the bone. The team determined the tibia featured 4 separate tools, and it had signs of repurposing as well. They think some of the tools were initially used for jobs like chiseling, and later Neanderthal artisans broke the bone and reused it for crafting flint tools. The multi-tool's additional uses remain unknown. They say it's decisive evidence that Neanderthals had ingenuity. The intentional transformation of lion bones into functional tools highlights Neanderthals' cognitive skills, adaptability, and capacity for resource utilization beyond their immediate survival needs. The bone tool helps contextualize Neanderthals' relationship to cave lions, which coexisted alongside of them for hundreds of thousands of years. It's the first time experts have found a tool made, though, of one of those cave lions' bones. The methods that they use to make the lion multi-tool are apparently identical to those found on other items in the cave, including some made from bear bones. So the study's authors say that they likely hunted these animals out of practicality because they were nearby. I don't know. They're still studying that multi-tool to figure out what else they tried to use it for, the Neanderthals. And they're looking for more at other dig sites. Oh, Neanderthals. That's pretty smart. Who knew? Here's now for something completely different. Here is a phone for you. Kind of little phone that folds into a tablet. Look how skinny it is. It is the world's thinnest folding phone, made by Honor's Magic V5, claiming the title of the world's thinnest folding phone. It is really skinny and probably really light as well. This is made by Chinese electronics company Honor. Like Honor Thy Neighbor. Honor is the name of the company. And they now have the thinnest possible folding phone with the release of their 8.8 millimeter thick Magic V5. They're launching it in Europe at the end of August. The other one, the other one that was the thinnest until now, was just a little thicker. This one beats it by 0.1 millimeters. So, you know, they say the Magic V5 is even thinner when it's unfolded, revealing a 4.1 millimeter thick, 7.95 inch OLED screen with an industry-leading peak brightness of 5,000 nits for improved image quality and outdoor visibility. So here's another picture of it folded out flat. Do you need a folding phone? You want a folding phone? I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. I'm going to the chat. It's a pretty thin phone. Hmm. Good afternoon to you, Ricky. Nice to see you. For as much as they cost, you think they could make one that's not so fragile? Mama says, I don't care how skinny my phone is. I just want it to fit in my pocket. It would be nice if my pockets were bigger too. Heather says, I've broken that thing just by thinking about it. Yeah, when I look at a phone like that, how thin it is, it does equal fragile to me in my mind. Mm-hmm. It folds. It's $1,500. Is it? Then look ahead at the price. The camera bump is almost as thick as the phone itself. It protrudes beyond that of the other thin phone. Has 3 lenses, a 64 megapixel periscope, telephoto, alongside a 50 megapixel wide, and then the ultra wide angle lenses. It's the second time that Honor has created the world's thinnest foldable, following the Magic V3, but the Magic V5 is thinner still. Maybe this is the way we're going. Samsung set to unveil the 7th generation of its Galaxy Z Fold phone. That is expected to be the same thickness as the Oppo Find N5, while also being the lightest foldable phone of its kind at 216 grams. I don't know about you, but I drop my phone so often that I'm not really looking for something so delicate and light. No, no, thank you. Gordon says, no, thanks. That's right. Yeah, Eileen says, that's extremely delicate looking. Nope. I need a phone with some durability and an OtterBox case to keep me from shattering it. Too thin, says Penny. Sandy does like the look of the folding phones, though. Josh does not want a folding phone. Nope. Deidre would like me to start trivia. So noted. I will start trivia post haste. It is Trivia Thursday, and as such, we have some questions to ask. All right, let me set it up. I'm going to the chat. Here we have it. I am ready. The last comment I see is from Josh. Waterproof and durable. I would agree. And Nullifidian. All right. The first question of this edition of Trivia Thursday includes this. What are the folds of skin on a cat's ears called? What are the folds of skin on a cat's ears called? Hmm. They're called cute, says SJ Lola. They're called adorable, says Heather. No clue, and I have 6, says Gordon. Oh, I thought you guys would be on this one. Dewlaps, says Nullifidian. Ticklish, says Josh. Kitty flaps, says Trevor. Flabby tabby, says Wes. Interesting. I have to tell you, Heather, I am surprised. Only dirty answers come to mind? Oh, Tammy. Okay, the answer is Henry's pockets. The folds of skin on a cat's ears are called Henry's pockets. They're also called the cutaneous marginal pouch. That's the clinical term for it. They can be found in a variety of animals, including dogs. And again, they're the folds of skin on a cat's ears. We call them Henry's pockets. On average, how long does it take for food to pass through the human body? On average, it's Henry apostrophe S, Henry's pockets. On average, how long does it take for food to pass through the human body? I have a 6 hours. That's what it feels like to me. It has a 9 hours. I have a 12 hours. I have a 48. I have 11,780. Vanessa says 24. Sandy says 24. Colors of the Wind, 24. 2 days, says SJ Lola. 24 hours. A lot of 24 hours. I'm seeing a 60 hours. I'm seeing a 72. This is probably the most accurate answer I have seen. Depends if it's Mexican food or not. I'll give it to the people that said 24 hours, but the correct time is 28 hours. While the process of digesting can take anywhere from 14 to 58 hours, the average time is 28 hours. Next question. Who invented the word puke? Who invented the word puke? Yeah, it depends on your health, right? Speaking of digesting food, who invented the word puke? Taco Bell, 20 minutes. That's correct. It is William Martinez. Shakespeare invented the word puke. That is correct. Shakespeare invented many of the words we use today. The actual word was puking. It was first recorded in As You Like It, and it was supposedly an imitation from the German word spuken, which means to spit. Thanks, Shakespeare, for the word puke. Good job, William. William got it. Yep. Oh, that's funny. Deidre says he invented piss, too. I did not know. What kind of weapon is a falchion? Hopefully I'm saying it right. Falchion. What kind of weapon is a falchion? It is a sword. JT has it. It is indeed a sword. It is a one-handed, single-edged sword comparable to a machete. So that's pretty cool. Which animal never sleeps? Which animal never really sleeps? Just say the word sleep and I could go for a nap. A lot of sea creatures. This is a creature that's partly in the water. Sandy says sharks. Heather says sharks. Deidre says whales. SJ Lola says, I just rushed home to suck at trivia. You'd never suck at trivia. Come on. Delette says fish don't sleep. Do dolphins sleep? Bats, do they sleep? Lots of sharks. A horse, sharks. A housefly doesn't sleep. Newborns don't sleep. We know that. Mo says sharks have to keep moving all the time or else they sink. Well, the answer that I'm looking for today is bullfrog. They do close their eyes and take what is considered short naps, but even then, they're not fully asleep and they stay aware of their surroundings. Bullfrogs never sleep. I hope I haven't asked this next question before, but I'm fascinated by it. The fingerprints of which animal resemble those of humans? The fingerprints of which animal resemble those of humans? The fingerprints of which animal resembles those of humans? I'll scroll back a little bit. So this is what I would have answered. Chimp, right? You would think chimp. Chimp. Any kind of monkey? Apes? Yeah, these are answers that make sense to me. Let's see if I see the answer. Nullifidian says raccoons. John says lemurs. Heather says lizard people. Donna says the opossum. The correct answer is the koala bear. The fingerprints, the koala has fingerprints that resemble those of humans. Who knew? Okay, switching to a math question. What two letters are both symbols for 1,000? What two letters are both symbols for 1,000? Hmm. Let's see if you guys got it. Oh, you did get it. Look at you. Let's scroll back to see who got it first. K is one of them, Deidre. And Judy says K. But Uncle Jim has it. It's M and K. Both are symbols for 1,000. Uncle Jim has it. John Watson has it. Josh got it. SJ has it. Trevor has it. Nullifidian's on it. Heather has it. Donna has it. Nice job, you guys. K and M. K and something else. Yes, K and M. That's what we need. Mark and Kim, M and K. Yes. That's funny. Next question. Good job, everybody. The next question is, in the United States, what is the most top-selling grilling meat throughout the summer? In the United States, what is our top-selling grilling meat throughout the summer? What do we buy the most and grill it up outside? Let's see what we got here. Yep, you guys are on it. The answer JT has a hot dog. Hot dog is the correct answer. Americans consume about 7 billion hot dogs from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So JT has it, Judy has it, Colors of the Wind has it, so does Vanessa. I'll take weenies, Heather. Weenies for 1,000. Trevor has it. Brats are kind of hot dogs, right? All right, SJ Lola, I see you. I got you. Nice. Yeah, it's hot dogs. CBD has hot dogs. Nasty, says Deidre. I love hot dogs, says JT. Yeah, hot dogs are good, but just don't think about what you're eating, right? Bleh. My local theater has the best hot dogs. I don't know. But the information is that Americans consume 7 billion hot dogs from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So perhaps the stakes weigh more, but maybe we consume fewer of them. I don't know. What video game was the first ever to be played in space? It's my favorite video game. What video game was the first ever to be played in space? Uh-oh. New comments. You say Pong, Tammy. Gordon says Pong. Mario says Deidre. Lots of Pongs. A Pac-Man. A Space Invaders, which would have been funny, but the correct answer comes from Calvin Wong, shadow producer. The answer is Tetris. Tetris, says Trevor Star in Hollywood. Trevor is correct. CBD says Tetris. Yeah, it was Tetris. It would have been fitting if it was Space Invaders, but instead it's Tetris. Very good job. What fad toy was feared to be a tool for foreign spies? What fad toy was feared to be a tool for foreign spies? Did you have one of these? Heather did, said it was the Furby. That's correct. Furby is correct. They thought that it was listening to everything. Furby is the answer. William got it as well. Did they think Tickle Me Elmo was a spy? I remember it said some inappropriate things, right? Didn't it? I think so. Yeah, I don't know. Um, hip hop, the music genre, was just going mainstream in the 90s. Which artist had the first #1 hip hop single? Hip hop was just going mainstream in the 90s. Which artist had the first #1 hip hop single? I feel like singing it, but it would totally give it away. What do we have? Weird Al, Run DMC, Sugar Hill Gang, Michael Jackson, Sugar Hill, Run DMC, Beastie Boys. Calvin gets it again. Dun 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 dun. It's Vanilla Ice. Ice Ice Baby. Isn't that weird that that was the first #1 hip hop song? That's crazy. It's Vanilla Ice. I know. No accounting for taste, right? What is the brightest star in the sky? What is the brightest star in the sky? The brightest star in the sky is the sun. A good answer. The answer I'm looking for, though, is this one, Sirius. Sirius is said to be the brightest star in the sky. Heather has it. John Watson has it. Nullifidian has it. And Rev P has it. Hey, Rev. Donna has it. Aw, Josh, you're the winner of today. Yeah. Are you serious? Says John Watson. Donna was serious. Trevor was serious. Serious, serious? Second serious. That's right. How many wives did Henry VIII have? How many wives did Henry VIII have? I know. Aw, Josh. We love you, Josh. Surely you can't be serious. He had 6 wives, says Judy W. And Judy is correct. I think the first one that flew in was Eileen. Eileen first to the punch with the 6 wives. Eileen gets it. SJ Lola has it. Heather has it. Uncle Jim has it. Judy has it. Mama has it. Nullifidian has it. 6 wives, says Vanessa. Yep. Too many, says Josh. Agree. Penny has 6. Donna has 6. Yeah, he wasn't very nice to them, Judy. This is the truth. Hey, you know, when you have that many, you can afford to lose a few. I'm kidding. I kid. I kid because I love. What is the country with the most vending machines per capita? I may have asked this one previously, but that's okay. It's like studying for a test that comes around again, right? What country has the most vending machines per capita? I'm seeing the answer pop up. This is true. It is Japan. JT has it. And so does Vanessa and William and Delette and JT and Tammy and Trevor. Josh has it. So does Heather and Mama and Donna and Calvin and Chaplain Fred. Hey, Chaplain Fred, welcome aboard. And CBD has it. Yeah, they've got a lot of vending machines in Japan. I'm telling you. Come on. In America, the most common color for toilet paper is white. What is the most common color for toilet paper in France? It's very fancy. It's very frou-frou. What is the most common color of toilet paper en français in France? Any Francophiles here? Chaplain Fred says pink, and Chaplain Fred is right. In France, most toilet paper is pink. Sandy also has it right. So does Mama. And I'll take mauve. Mauve's a form of pink, right? Mindy has it too. I did not notice that. And I have been to France only once, but I have been. And I did not realize that they had, I guess I stayed at a hotel that had toilet paper that looked American in nature. I don't know. It wasn't pink. I think I would have remembered that. But that's kind of weird, don't you think? Yeah, I don't know. All right, next question. And this is kind of pertinent for the times. What famous fictional character was created in 1933? It's a very, very famous fictional character created in 1933. The answer is you knew it. You guys are the cutest and best. John Watson had it. It's Superman, created in 1933. John had it. So does Eileen and S.J. Lola and Nosferatu. And Rev P and Uncle Jim has it. So does Mama and Calvin. Yeah, Superman. That's the answer. Well done. Okay, next question. We talked last week during trivia about how many folds are in a chef's hat, and we found out that there are 100. What do the 100 folds in a chef's hat represent? What do the 100 folds in a chef's hat represent? Spices, says Calvin Wong. I knew Mama would have this one. 100 ways to cook an egg. That is correct. 100 ways to cook an egg. That is why. Yeah, Wes has it too. 100 egg recipes. Places to hide 100 snacks. 100 ways to cook an egg. That is the correct answer. In which country did apple pie originate? In which country did apple pie originate? Way to go, Mama. Yeah. Germany, says William and Dillette and Heather. A lot of Germanys. S.J. Lola's correct. Apple pie originated in England. Although I could see why you would think Germany with apple strudel. Apple seems common. But apple pie originated in England. Calvin says England as well. Yeah, I know, Judy. I know. Weird, right? So much for the phrase "as American as apple pie." Well, apparently, we brought it. The English brought it with them when they came to colonize the New World. That's how that worked out. What is the looking for? I just decided I didn't like the question I was going to ask. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask it anyway. Meh. All right, I'll ask it anyway. Which university offers a degree in viticulture and enology, winemaking? And you know what? The reason I didn't ask this question is because I know that so many universities offer this degree, including, I believe, UC Davis. But that's not the answer they're looking for. This is a fancy East Coast university. Which East Coast university offers a degree in viticulture and enology, which is winemaking? And the answer is, yeah. See, I'll take UC Davis because I know that. Sonoma State probably. I mean, the question should be, what college doesn't offer this degree, right? That's why I hemmed and hawed. Harvard, says Sandy. The answer is Cornell University, which makes sense because it's kind of an almost an ag school. I know they have a great veterinary program. So I think that's, why they're asking the question. Yeah. uh, I could have done without that one. My apologies for bringing it to your attention. We'll just skip it. Let me take that off the screen. Yeah, Cornell. You can get your degree in viticulture and enology from Cornell University. And then you can come to the Napa wine country and be very fancy and make wine. Mm. Um, what is a fear of dogs known as? What do we call, what's the phobia for the fear of dogs? Fear of dogs. Do we know what it is? Thank you. I'll take the. If you're forgiving me, I'll take it. I need to be forgiven for that one. Sandy, with the best answer, barkophobia, caninophobia, caninophobia, dogophobia, bowowophobia. Canophobia is actually a really good answer. A woofenbin. The answer for the real name for the fear of dogs is cynophobia. CYNO. Cynophobia. Did you know that? I did not know this. Now we do. Cynophobia. In what year was the Berlin Wall demolished? And then we'll wrap it up. In what year was the Berlin Wall demolished? '89, says Sandy. 89, says Judy. Uncle Jim says 89. So does Eileen. A lot of 89s. SJ Lola has 1991. The Berlin Wall was demolished in 1991 is the answer. 1991. Yeah. I thought it was before that as well, but no. It's interesting. Julia just saw that and she took some great pictures of it. Blue Spark says 1991. So does, let's see, who else says 91? Tammy had 92. We were close. Mama was in second grade in 1990. SJ Lola says, that's the year my son was born. Are you going to give us the answer? Michael has a question. What university did most Californians currently alive graduate from? I like the question. I'm going to say, what university did we mostly graduate from? It's just probably a state school, right? I'm going to say San Jose State. San Jose State or Long Beach State, maybe? What's the answer? Still that year. Are you giving us the answer? A lot of UC Berkeley's, UCLA, College of the East Bay. All right, Michael D., we're waiting for the answer. I think it's a state school. San Diego State, says Chaplain Fred. Michael D. says Davis is the third largest UC campus, and it has the most students residing in California. So are you saying that UC Davis, as where you asked your question, is the college where most living Californians have graduated from? Or I don't know. Is that the answer? Mm. College of Hard Knocks says no opinion. That's probably more about the right answer of things. That's a good question though. I like it. What is the single best-selling music of all time? That's a weird way to ask that question. I'd say it's a song. Best-selling song, and I don't even know if this is the right answer. I don't like that. I'll give you the answer because this question's dumb. The answer is Candle in the Wind. They have as this quote, single best-selling music of all time. No. No thanks. The Bee Gees, Thriller. Yeah, I don't know if I believe this trivia question. You're not supposed to question trivia, but we're getting to the point at the end of the trivia list that I just don't have a lot of faith in this trivia. I don't know. I don't think so. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for playing. Super fun. So glad that you could participate. Whose birthday? Who has a birthday today? Did I miss a birthday? Not We Are the World. Whose birthday? Is it Delette's birthday? Whose birthday? Tell me the birthday, and I'll play you the Jacob song. Oops. I need to know the birthday. I have a birthday. I need to celebrate you, whoever you are. Who's having a birthday? Speak up. The show isn't over until the birthday person steps forward. Oh, you were saying it's the song Happy Birthday. Okay. All right. My bad. No birthdays in the crowd today. It's all right. Let me know when it's your birthday though, and I'd love to highlight it and celebrate it. I had something there was a picture I wanted to bring forward, but I'll get it done tomorrow. All right. I'm glad you figured it out, Eileen. Thank you. Thank you for playing trivia. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Of course, at 5 p.m. is the Nikki Maduro Show. And I hope that you will join Nikki and I as we continue to discuss some interesting stories. I don't think we're live. I think we're still taped, but maybe we're live. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. We could be live, we could be taped. I forget how many we taped, so I don't know. But I do know that we're going to be on at 5 o'clock on YouTube, so I hope you will join us for that. That is the Nikki Medoro Show, Medoro. Please click the like button, please, and please click the subscribe button. Hopefully we get the 20 more subscribers and we get to 2,500 because I'm really looking forward to meeting that milestone. All right, I'll see you on the Nikki Maduro Show. And then, of course, tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, we've got Michael Schur and Jim Avila and Friday Fabulous Florida. And we have Michael Snyder. We'll have Tim Sika tomorrow on this show. So tonight at 5 p.m., the Nikki Maduro Show, and then a great Friday ahead. But please do make it a great rest of your day. And I'll see you right back here on the YouTube. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
What? Thank you for the subscription, Citizen Morgan. Mahalo. I totally forget, Heather. One way or another, it's coming on. Live or taped, we'll be there. I'll figure it out before showtime. Harry, thank you for the $10. My dentist always talked about great whites, he said. That's awesome. Thank you, Harry. Thanks for the contribution. All right, you guys, see you at 5. Bye-bye. Here we go.